A while ago, I said I was on a quest to make the dumbest rankings possible, but I haven't really achieved my goal yet. However, I have finally thought of a truly stupid ranking. Today, I'm going to rank all the adventures from the amazing digital circus based on their implementation of grass. Please don't click off, I promise this is actually kind of interesting. I will only be ranking the adventures we actually see on screen, which won't include the ones during the credits of Remember. This ranking will take into account both the amount of grass in the adventure, but more so how important grass is to the adventure. So let's get started. Right down the bottom, it's Zubal's bar adventure.
There's nothing.
Thank you, son.
Yeah, not much to say here really. There is absolutely no grass. Ironic that this adventure came from Zubal, who got the shortest grass touching time back when I covered this show in the grass touching series. As for Candy Carrier Chaos,
There's nothing.
Thank you, son.
yeah, no grass in sight. But there is an elephant, and elephants eat grass. So there's probably some grass somewhere off screen. As for the snowy summit,
There's nothing.
yeah, no grass, whatever, snow, no grass. However, there are trees, which are a kind of flora, so it's the closest thing we've seen to grass so far. In 11th place, it's the mystery of Mildenhall Manor. There's barely any grass, but there is still a tiny bit outside the mansion, so hey, we finally got some grass. President Pomni has slightly more grass, but the grass isn't relevant to the adventure, as it's all set inside. Amazing Digital Circus High comes in at 9th. The grass is still only shown to be outside and not involved with the adventure, but this is the most grass we've seen so far. And here we have the OG. Gather the Gloinks may not seem to have any grass at first, but since this is an in-house adventure, the huge amount of grass just outside the tent puts it here. However, since the gun adventure, I don't know what else to call it, didn't require the characters to go into the Gloink Queen's domain and therefore further away from the grass outside, it gets to rank higher. Next is the infamous Escape the Circus adventure, another in-house adventure, but this one technically started on the beach, which means the humans were much closer to grass than any of the adventures ranked below. Moving into the top 5, an honest hard day's work at Spudsy's restaurant chain may have significantly less grass than some of the previous entries, but in this adventure, the humans were eventually meant to go outside and get closer to the grass. And what really pushes it this high is that Gangle actually touched grass in this adventure. Jax's Poacher's Paradise is super duper grassy. Look at it all. And this is an adventure all about getting outside and running across grass. If Jax wasn't voted out, I can guarantee we would have seen an insane amount of grass touching here. Okay, this one is kinda complicated. At first, I wasn't sure if Jax, Ribbit, and Kaufmo were sitting on grass here, but I took a close look at the few details we are given in these few seconds. First off, the fact that they are sitting here means it must be something comfortable to sit on. In the background, we can see a forest. The trees appear to be very low poly. This more rudimentary art style would also apply to the rest of the world, which can explain why their surface could be considered grass despite looking kind of janky. We also briefly see what are clearly rocks, so no, they can't be sitting on stone because that looks different. It also seems too solid to be something like sand or dirt. We don't see anything get flipped up when Ribbit flips her hand here. After a lot of thinking, I feel very confident in saying this is grass. However, despite the insane amount of grass, I can't rank it higher because we simply don't know enough about this adventure to really know what it was about. In the runner-up position, it's good old-fashioned softball. Finally an adventure where everyone is out on grass. Except for King and Coach Dictator, I guess. But there is still one adventure that surpasses it. Yeah, it should be no surprise that the adventure that saw the first instances of Pomni, Ragatha, Zubul, and Kinga touching grass is the best adventure based on its grass. It has the insane amount of grass as the rest of the in-house adventures, but it's so much better than them because the adventure is all about laying down on it. Now, you may notice that this video still has quite a bit of runtime left. Well, you see, back when I made my video timing how long it took the characters from the Amazing Digital Circus to touch grass, Caine and Bubble had not touched grass, so they were ranked as TBD in the rankings until new episodes came out. That video was made in between the releases of They All Get Guns and Beach episode, and I'm happy to report I can now give both of them definitive placements. And not only that, but 2 new contestants will join the ranks today. So, welcome back to this really stupid series where I time how long it took cartoon characters to touch grass. Today, I will be taking another look at the Amazing Digital Circus. If you haven't seen one of these videos before, you can pause right now to see the rules I go by. Here is the current ranking with Pomni, Jax, Ragatha, Gangle, Zubul, and Kinga. Today's new grass-touching contestants are Kaufmo and Ribbit, and we also see returning contestants Bubble and Caine. Let's touch grass. When we first meet Coffee, he's not doing the best. At first it seems like he's gonna do pretty bad, but like we previously discussed, Remember gave us the clown sitting on a surface I have determined to be grass, which gives him an incredible time of just 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Now, when it comes to Ribbit, I feel the need to mention that this scene from Beach episode does not count. This may look like Ribbit's hand, but it's not her, just a hallucination Jax is having of them due to her starting to abstract. So Ribbit's timer doesn't start until she appears in Remember, and like Kaufmo, they touch grass right here, but she gets a time of just 1 minute and 6 seconds. Bubble never did end up touching grass, and he did something so much worse than never touching it. He bullied Caine, a completely unforgivable sin that completely disqualifies him. And I'm not just saying this because I love Caine and I want to give him hugs and kisses. No, it's because of new information about Caine that changes everything. In Remember, Caine touches grass right at the end. So why am I not timing him at the moment? Well, you see, when I made that video, I, like everyone else, was under the belief that Caine was simply a program running inside the world of the circus. But, Hudsuckiladiffle tells us that the truth is very different. Caine doesn't simply exist within the circus. He made the circus.
He's a highly advanced AI, and this is his world. One that he created from nothing. So naturally, he has control over everything.
He created this entire world. He made everything. And what's the one thing we've been talking about all video? Something he has created over and over and was the very first thing we see in the show? The very first of his creations shown to us? What was it? Grass. Caine straight up created grass. So, where does he go on the ranking? Well, he goes in 0th place. He is the grass god. See you in hell, Bubble. So there we have it. The new Digital Circus grass touching ranking. 2 grass rankings in 1 video. That's pretty epic. Wait, hold on a second. Sog. There we go, much better. Oh, also, Gooseworx said on Tumblr that Jax would probably go by a name like Lily if she was actually able to transition. So, yeah. I guess I also have to update the time ranking the shows by average time, since now the Amazing Digital Circus goes to... yeah, fuck you. But that's all I've got for you today. My name is Dr. Lamington. Like and subscribe to make me smile, and I will see you later.